Hello guys, I have another video for you today, another deck. With the patch having hit, Skellige had to adapt a tiny bit because Olgierd has been nerfed, or, more accurately changed into a different card, no longer being used for carryover, as he had been in the Bran decks before the patch. So this is just a bit of an updated Bran list with a cheeky Vesemir as well with Mandrake because I see a fair few Imra Sabbaths going around and that card is pretty nice against them. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to see how well it works in this environment. I think it will be one of the stronger decks, the Bran, in this coming meta, and thought I'd revisit it. And there's going to be great source as well for Skellige, but this one should be a little bit less vulnerable to sort of removals and decks that are hard teched to deal with great swords. Plus, you have a bit of carryover, which is always going to be nice in certain matchups. So let's run through the cards real quick. This deck is pretty damn similar to deck already on the YouTube channel, but we'll go over it all the same. So we have the Bran, going to be discarding a Wolfsbane, Morkvarg, and an Ancrate Raider every game, just for that 10 points of play on top of the Bran, and then the 12-point Wolfsbane, getting some carryover with Morkvarg. A pretty solid play, and reason Bran has been very popular is because of that Wolfsbane, or it's sometimes Ceres, as well as the carryover, and we still get to keep those two things despite not having Olgierd, so that's good. Next up is Vesemir. He's only pulling Mandrake in this deck. As I said, I just wanted to hit him in there as a cheeky way to deal with Sabbaths. And, Mandrake's pretty damn strong. It actually is very useful in the decks that have these Demon Corsairs, right, where you're reviving longships. Also good in greatswords, you're strengthening greatswords and reviving them later. But, it's very cheeky to strengthen up a longship and revive that later, which this deck can definitely do. You also have blacksmiths going for some carryover as well on your cards, so it kind of doubles up and works really well, I think. Got to avoid bricking the Vesemir, but that shouldn't be too difficult when you don't need to mulligan, that much, excluding your discard targets in round one. Anyway, next up, Coral, of course, very, very good. Can't play without her. Super strong Skellige card, same with Heim. Really important. Wolfsbane for the leader. Ulderic, Spy, we want that. There's a video on why Spies are good. Go check that out if you want, but at this point, everyone should know why Spy is so important. Morkvarg, again, for the leader ability, carryover, whatnot. Also a cursed unit, which will be relevant when we're talking about Berserker Marauders later. We then have Skell to pull the cursed boys, Sigdrifer to res whatever, Skell, Blacksmith, Captain, yeah, whatever you feel like. Usually Skell is the best target. Restore then for the captain, really, really powerful, especially if you've already buffed up these longships. The Mandrake with the Vesemir, of course, and then Marauders, which are basically going to get bigger and bigger the more you damage your units and the more cursed units you have. Not too many cursed units in this deck, apart from Skell, Heim, and the Morkvarg, so you're going to want to play the Skell before your Berserker Marauders in most cases, as well as playing Heim before the Berserker Marauders in most cases, and yeah, just generally damaging your units with the light longships so that you get bigger Marauders. Blacksmith is also there for a bit of carryover on longships and can be used to negate some of the damage that they would be dealing, therefore giving you extra points on your engines, which is quite nice. And then Whaler for another, card that can't really be removed, so you've always got Safe Corsair, and it's just a solid card in a long round. You could take this out, put in another Blacksmith or something, would be fine. Captains and Corsairs to finish out the boat package, and then you have Raider, of course, for the discard. Anything else I should mention? Not really. I mean, the gold and silver slot, you could definitely change those up. And maybe you don't want to run Mandrake, especially if you're not seeing that many Vesemirs, that many Vesemirs, that many Imleriths around. Maybe you want to run like an Igni or a Dandelion Poet in place of this, and instead of Mandrake, you could try Harold Houndsnout or something like that. So yeah, pretty cool deck. Should still hold up. We'll jump into some gameplay now and see what's going on. Looks like we're up against the Usurper, which could be all manner of things. Could be Spies, I suppose, or potentially Alchemy, or some kind of Swarm deck. But yeah, for the mulligans, we want to avoid Corsairs if possible. They're going to be blacklistable. In this case, I mean, the hand is looking a bit awkward, so it might be safer to go just Raider and Mandrake, and see if we draw any other bad cards, such as Morkvarg and Wolfsbane. So that's what I'm going to do here. Get rid of the bricks. If we're feeling risky, we can mulligan a Corsair. Might be worth it in this case. I'm going to go for it, and we do get Skull, which is perfectly a fine card. Now we're on the blue coin, which, typically not what you want, but Bran as our opener pretty much every game is going to be solid to get us some points with the Wolfsbane, and some carryover should we need to do a little bit of a cheeky pass for card advantage at some point. Probably not going to go for that here, but you never know what will happen. And in this round, we're just going to want to set up longships, you know, play a blacksmith or two, maybe play the mandrake for carryover value, maybe even for removal, since it looks like we are against the spies. And no, I am considering that. Probably, it's a tricky decision. I'm not sure if it's worth it. You can also target Joachim with the mandrake, so difficult one. But I think Enforcer's a good enough engine to remove that we can do that. Reasonably happy with that, and it's removing this brick draw from our deck, which is nice. That gets us ahead quite convincingly, especially with the Wolfsbane. We might even take a little bit of a pass here if he does not pass himself, which he does. So that, you know, we're taking the round, and now we're in a position where we can hopefully push a bit. Ideally, we're going to draw our spy, so we get full value on the Wolfsbane and can push this round even harder. That would be ideal. And we do get spy access because of course, Skell is pulling spy now that we have all three berserkers in hand. And we even draw spy, so we're going to play that now just to get the Wolfsbane value as said. I'm probably going to take blacksmith since the other cards are dead there. Hand is slightly awkward. We're going to have to be playing, you know, we're going to have to be mulligan one berserker so that Skell is enabled in the next round. And maybe the most important thing with this deck is actually making sure that, you know, your reses are good to go, your Corsairs, your restore, whatnot, and that you know what you're doing with each card in that respect. But here we'll just start off with the captain. We don't really need to put him in the graveyard, so we're just going to go ahead and damage the Cantarella, get another proc for the Berserker Marauders, that's the plan. And we'll see what happens. I mean, typically in the past, you know, Spies was pretty good against Skellige, so, you know, they have things that can throw their Spies onto the row and block the ships, maybe, and things like that, but not sure if that's the case these days. We'll have to find out, I suppose. Probably worth, you know, hitting the Emissary and then choosing whether or not to do that again with this next boat here. And of course, Blacksmith, we're going to plop down, maybe buff up one of the boats so that we have a little bit of carryover value. Hopefully no Igni now, that would be pretty rude, but no, doesn't look like he has it. Another Emissary, so we're going to have to really time our pass effectively here because these engines are going to get very, very intimidating the longer this round goes. And, you know, don't really want to lose card advantage if we can help it. Might be acceptable if we've got a very big res in round 3, only issue being his Vicar of Aromatics could take those boats, so got to watch out for that. Here I think we're just going to drop the ship, strengthen up a boat, no problems. No problems at all. We can maybe even drop a boat here next time to get the value on those. And you might want to spread the buffs, get 2 large boats so that we don't play into the Vicar of Arrows too much. But yeah, this hand is looking a little bit awkward, you know what I mean? Could definitely be better. But here, yeah, we'll grab the longship, get some value there. Hopefully no Menno comes down. It's going to swing in his favor pretty hard. But then again, we'll get to res the now bigger boat and kind of make up for that. If that does happen, we'll of course see. And yeah, we really just want to see a few engines from him here so we don't have to worry about round 3 being, you know, a long round where we have to deal with enforcers and brigades and all this nonsense. And it looks like he doesn't have any sort of way to kill emissaries in hand, otherwise he would be probably using those. So maybe his hand's a bit awkward. Okay, and he does find the enforcer, so no longer is his hand a little bit awkward, but that's okay. This row is filled now, which is kind of an issue. And we can't actually revive Emissary, which is also annoying to deny that from him. So it looks like we're, you know, potentially going to be going down cards here, which is not really ideal, but what can you do? The other question is, do we buff up the longship with the Blacksmith, or do we go for the other one? I'm tempted to go for the other one, since we're probably going to hit multiple Corsairs in round 3. Would be nice to be able to, you know, spread the buffs so we don't get Vicar Medic too hard. And yeah, we're probably going to want to play 2 Berserker Marauders here, and then get out of the round, mulligan that Berserker Marauder away, hope for no bricks, and go from there. Sigdrief is not going to be that good either in this situation, because we've, you know, drawn kind of not great, but it does happen occasionally. Could also be looking for a Haim into, you know, some good stuff Now, interestingly, we do have the opportunity to pass here, and actually, I think I'm probably going to take it. Just because we have set up our boats, we've strengthened 2 of them, and, you know, we want to play the Marauders, but not really that necessary. He has played all of his engines but one, so we're kind of not so scared about those anymore. And I think this is probably our last opportunity to get out with card advantage. Otherwise, he's going to start dropping all these big point plays on me after all the engines have been set up. So I think this is a good time to get out of the round once we've seen some of those engines. And of course, Vico Medic will hurt quite a lot. Also, he's putting Raider back into the deck, which is, of course, you know, not the best thing ever for me. Hopefully, we just have to avoid a lot of bricks here, but you know, maybe it's possible, maybe not. It's a good Asaya from him putting Roach back and the Raider. So we'll see how it goes. We are locked into mulliganing a Marauder because otherwise we're going to brick ourselves. And we find Captain, which is, you know, reasonable, not the worst card ever. If he does double Vico our boats, might be an issue. That would require him to have both in hand and to use them for that purpose, which is very possible that he'll do. And it looks a bit scary. If he denies our Corsair, we're definitely going to be in a spot of trouble here. So hopefully he does not do that. But we're going to go ahead and grab that longship. Get the points going. Probably wrong, actually, to kill the captain there. Better to hit the Corsair, but whatever. Mistakes are made occasionally, aren't they? But this game, you know, we've not got too lucky. We've really drawn some suboptimal cards, but that's the way of it sometimes. Can't always, you know, draw perfectly right. But, you know, he does not kill our stuff, which is always good. So we can set up another boat, do some damage. Looking good. I mean, right now we're ahead on even cards, which is never a bad thing. And we're going to have some big, powerful plays coming up, which is always good. So next, I think we kind of want to roll with Sigdrifa. The other thing to think about is if he has Menno, you know, how worth it is it to be getting that, what's it called, you know, that res on the boat. But here I think just taking blacksmith's okay. We're going to basically, you know, we could even buff Sigdri for the extra points on the ship. That's probably not worth it since the damage is worth 3 points and the buff is only worth 2 in this case. Probably better just to either strengthen Emissary or maybe even Morkvarg since it's a cursed unit. Don't really want it to die. I'm just going to try to damage as many units as possible before dropping Skell and then the Berserker Marauders in this round. Hoping he bricks on the Usurper as well would be nice. But yeah, we've been a teeny bit unlucky here. You know, the Coral or the Heim would have been super powerful, either for Joachim or for, you know, denying Iris, as it turns out. We could be doing, but at least she's cursed, you know, it gives us some kind of points on that front. I think here we just probably are going to go with the Ankre Whaler. It's a tricky one. We can move the boat. I'm not even sure if that accomplishes much though, so probably just better to go here with it. I mean, yeah, we could even kill the Vico Medic if we want to try to make Iris awkward, but I don't think that's going to work. So just going to throw his Imperial Brigade to the back, get another little quick damage for our Berserker Marauders before dropping all of those. And right now it looks like we're a little bit behind. Gonna have to hope that these big plays will carry because, you know, we're otherwise looking at Menno and Joachim and some other nasty things, which could definitely blow us out of the game here. Either way, I think it would be quite a close one. Definitely a good game. Both you know, well played on both players' parts. I think potentially round one could have gone for not Vesemir. Might have been a good idea. Oh, and it looks like he does pick up the Roach from the Joachim, which, you know, that's ideal for us. We definitely want him to have a brick here, give us some more chance of winning. And I think we're just going to go ahead and play Skell. We do want Iris to get damaged because then he'll have to waste some kind of damage on it. For example, the Nausea or the Menno, and that damage is going to be wasted if we are, of course, not putting guys in front of the boat yet. We will do that on the next turn. And let's see, you know, could make it awkward for us, but he does go ahead and drop the Nausea. So this is looking pretty close. I think he probably has it just due to, you know, Menno being a card, but oh, playing it to Igni. Whoa, watch out. Okay, very dangerous things. And it is a Menno. So I'm pretty sure that's too many points. But a close game indeed. And you know what? Whatever. Very close. And I think that game was played well by both sides. So yeah, that is how the deck works. And yeah, I mean, I'm actually going to upload this because I very rarely like lose games with the decks, but I think this is, you know, a good example of a well-played game by both sides. Spies definitely has a decent matchup against Skellige, so not really going to complain. So first game didn't go so well. I'm going to queue up again and see if we can win one this time. But, you know, either way, I think that was a good showcase of the deck and how it works. Just a pretty tough matchup there with the Spies. Alright guys, look like we have a game against the Arachas Queen. Hopefully this doesn't consume, as that won't be the best matchup for us. With the Mulligan, we're going to get rid of Raiders, Corsairs, and Mandrake should we have Vesemir in hand as well. Here we don't, so I'm actually more tempted to get rid of a Corsair, just because we want to be able to deny 2 Neckers if it is consume, and hopefully shut down the engine before it gets going. There is definitely a way to play around that stuff. Yeah, should be good. Should be a good one. We'll see how it goes. Typically consumes pretty hard for Skellige and Bran especially. So we'll have a look. So we're gonna start with the Bran here, of course, discarding Morkvarg, the Raider, and the Wolfsbane. Check it out. Get some points on the board, the carryover, and all that good stuff. Make it hard for him to pass, so maybe we can take a pass at some point. Get card advantage. Should be nice. We'll see what happens here. If he is consumed, we can definitely go for denying both Neckers at the beginning of the game. That's probably our best hope of winning. Gonna be tricky, but if he doesn't have enough Neckers in hand, or if he doesn't have Summoning Circle and things like this, we're not going to be looking too bad. Probably the way to go about it. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. And it does look like he's playing the consume deck, so I think it's safe to go with just, you know, so that's just a bit of Mandrake action. We could actually wait until he's played a Necker Warrior to play around Summoning Circle, but here I don't think it's really necessary. Either he's got some stuff or he doesn't, right? Hopefully not. Hopefully he doesn't have those. Oh, he does have another one, so we're going to coral this, and hopefully he doesn't have another Necker, right? The classic game against Neckers. Completely nonsense. Splendid maneuver. And if he has another Necker, we can probably just concede the game. We will be in a little bit of trouble in that case. If not, then looks like a win. Classic. And he goes Babagaz. Okay. Cool. Cool story, broski. So we're going to just do our thing. Pirate Captain and whatnot. Who cares? We're going to play it out. Take the round. He's going to pass now, presumably. And then we're just going to hope he doesn't draw a Necker and play the game from there. Play all our cards out. We can show some, you know, proper sequencing and all that, but consume games definitely do take a weird route. Most likely we can just 2-0 this guy now, of course. That will be the case. Alright. So Vesemir is a dead card, probably want to mulligan that away. And now we're just going to kind of push him. Take a cheeky Corsair to start. We want to be damaging our units here, of course, to get more Berserker Marauder value. Scale as well, going to play that before the Berserker Marauders, and probably Heim before any of those, so we get as many cursed units as possible. And, you know, we want to be playing all the boats, getting all the engines going, and then the Marauders later after that. Playing Spy as well this round, and just kind of hoping he didn't draw the Necker and that we can outpower him. But, you know, we get to see some strength of the deck in terms of its points and the engines and how you should play it properly, basically, which is, you know, what we like to see, I think. Yeah, so here, gonna get the next boat out. Not much more to say. Just some of that standard stuff going on. And yeah, if he has the Necker, we're going to be probably in trouble. Looks like he doesn't have it from the moves he's making here. More likely is just yeah, a little bit bricked, which, you know, no good for him, but thankfully we're going to be okay with that. So probably going to Heim here. Morwood is a pretty nice one to get, and I think that's one we want to take. Just lock his Vran up. Deny the consume triggers, which will make it more likely you can get Necker out using something like ADC. Not really going to want that to happen. And then next we're going to play boat, and we're going to start just going crazy with all the points. And probably we'll just 2-0 him, or you know, either that or push him down to very few cards and go to round 3 when he has no neckers and is in a bit of trouble. Either way should be a very, you know, ideal situation for us. Shouldn't be too bad. Gales comes out now into Summoning Circle to lock, or unlock in this case, another unit. And we'll just play a boat. Of course, I think he's trying to buff his knackers up to a point, you know, 10 strength, where they're not going to block any ADC onto them, you know, onto a Nekker warrior or whatnot. Instead, it's going to be on Nekker, and he can start getting the train rolling. It'll probably be too late at that point because, you know, he won't have any Nekkers in deck, and then he's going to be, yeah, really working with not much. We can put it that way, I think. So next up, we got this scale play. We want to, of course, make sure Heim stays alive, so we're going to put it here. And yeah, just continue to get as many damage units as possible. We could maybe even play Sigdrifa if it was active right now, but it's not, so not going to be the case. Instead, you know, Skell, then maybe Uldrick to have a look at what's going on in the deck, and we'll go from that point. Dead Lizard comes down, which is always nice, dropping that big Marauder amount of points. And, you know, a couple Marauders to follow up after that. And I think at this point his Nekkers will be big enough to be pulled out by ADC, so if he's going for that line of play, we're probably good to go. We can even push him out here. Maybe just not play Spy and see if he has the points to catch up without using all of his cards, which I think will be difficult for him. But there is the ADC onto Nekker, so the guy has hope. We can definitely say that much. And last Marauder comes down. At this point, I'll probably pass and just say, okay, bro, do you have the way to get 50 points at this stage in the game? If not, then you're going to be in trouble. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to mulligan away Uldrick next round and hope we don't brick. Might happen, not really bothered. I do have 2 engines still going, so probably completely fine on that front. And he doesn't need to put Nekkers in, which means he's, you know, lacking points. Even if he does eat them at this stage, they're going to come out pretty small, so not too worried there. I mean, Phoenix is a big point swing. There's not a huge amount else that is, so it's definitely going to be tricky. But we'll see if he can do it. I've seen crazier things in my time. But if not, then it's just, you know, a showcase of the weaknesses of Consume, I guess. That primarily being, you know, that lack of points in a lot of cases when you can deny the Nekkers. So it does look like he doesn't have it. There we go, very easy 2-0. And yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put both this game and the last game I played in the video. Yeah, why not? Get some extra gameplay should you want to watch that. But anyway, yeah, thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time, guys.